What if the American South had done the unthinkable? What if, years before the Civil War, they had abolished slavery themselves? No Lincoln, no Gettysburg, no 600,000 dead. Just one decision. That could have changed everything. The year is 1850. The United States is a house divided, not by war yet, but by fear. In the North, abolitionist voices grow louder. In the South, cotton is king, and slavery is its throne. But deep within Southern elite circles, a quiet panic is rising, not about morality, about power. Across the Atlantic, the British Empire, once the largest market for Southern cotton, has outlawed slavery and is now pressuring its partners to do the same. Global opinion is shifting, and industrial progress threatens the plantation economy. In this alternate timeline, a coalition of Southern pragmatists, economists, and moderate politicians, men like James Lewis Pettigrew and Thomas Cobb, form an unlikely bloc. Their radical proposal? A gradual abolition of slavery, starting in 1852, with full emancipation by 1865. In towns and plantations, the news spreads slowly, quiet, confusing, uncertain. Some celebrate, others whisper in fear. The plan is controversial. Planters fear ruin. But the offer is sweetened. Government compensation for freed slaves, a federal investment in mechanized agriculture, an expanded tenant farming system, and perhaps most critically, preservation of Southern political power in Congress. Imagine, instead of seceding, the South repositions itself, not as the backward cousin of industrial America, but as its agrarian equal, evolved. And it works, just barely. By 1855, border states like Kentucky and Missouri follow suit. Virginia leads emancipation efforts, citing Jeffersonian principles twisted back into relevance. Slavery is being phased out, state by state, but there's a cost. Plantation life begins to change. Machines arrive, contracts replace chains, but old hierarchies do not vanish overnight. Abolitionists are stunned. Frederick Douglass calls it justice delayed but not denied. Yet others worry, if they ended slavery to keep power, what will they do next to keep it? The Republican Party loses its founding cause. Abraham Lincoln never rises to national prominence. By 1860, the presidency goes to a compromise candidate, possibly Stephen A. Douglas. Of course, ending slavery doesn't mean equality. Southern legislatures pass strict labor codes and residency restrictions. Freed Black Americans face limited rights, little mobility, and near-total economic dependence. But they are not in chains, and with time and pressure, things begin to shift. The freedmen establish schools, churches, and businesses. Northern philanthropy flows south, not as Reconstruction aid, but as civil society investment. By the 1870s, Southern Black communities are organizing, voting, running for office. It's not utopia, but it's not Mississippi in 1962 either. Freed from the moral burden of slavery, the South attracts foreign investment. British and German capital funds textile mills in Atlanta, steel foundries in Birmingham, and railways across Alabama. Southern universities begin to modernize. Vanderbilt, Emory, Tulane. By the turn of the century, the South is not the poorest region in the nation. It is a global agricultural technological hybrid economy, rivaling Germany's Rhineland. Now imagine 1960. The civil rights movement is already decades old, not a desperate struggle to overturn apartheid-like laws, but a movement focused on full equality in housing, voting, and education. And it gains allies, not just in the North, but in a Southern generation untainted by Civil War nostalgia. Martin Luther King Jr. still marches, but this time he walks through cities not burned by history, but shaped by early reform. And here's the twist: the South, not the North, becomes the moral voice of the nation. Of course, it didn't happen that way. The Southern elites chose pride over pragmatism. They clung to a dying institution and dragged a nation into bloodshed. But the alternative was possible. With foresight, with courage, with a simple shift in when they acted, not what they believed. History could have been rewritten, and today we've shown you how exactly.